Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin and Mari, and we're going to talk about the new update, which we finally have one for the whole month. I'm really not liking this 3-week thing. What am I doing? Okay, so, blah blah blah, Patreon and Discord channel. Yeah, that's it. We have a Discord channel. That stuff. I don't remember, like, my internalized script because I barely have time to do this anymore. Let me pet this Kirara again. Oh, God, I love her. Okay, so. First thing, perfect. It went right where I wanted it to be. We have this sweet Emily here. Finally, limited Emily. Do I think it's worth it? Yes, because I like the weapon. But if you're not a whale, this is obviously restricted, unfortunately, unless you've been hoarding gems for the past, like, 6 months and Emily is your jam. But the skin, as you can see, is really dope, and she has the keys to multiple Simps' heart on her belt. So, I don't know who the Simps are, but she owns them. And yeah, I love the little leg band going on there. That's cute. I like her little heels. Perfect for foot sniffing. And her opie. Look at it. Look at it bounce. Yeah. It's a cute skin. I like it. Um Overall, as I always say, I think limited skins are worth it even though they're paid only because you'll never see the skin again, or if you do it's going to be a year and a half from now. So, for anyone who's newer or, anyone who's on the fence and they don't really know the pricing yet, they haven't been playing that long, yeah, it's worth it if you simp for Emily. If you don't simp for Emily, like I wouldn't go out of your way to get the skin. Like me personally, I'm not getting it. I no longer simp for Emily. Me and her agree to just be friends, so yeah, it's totally up to you guys if you want to get it. But yeah, the pack is worth it because you would get the skin and you would get her ultra rare weapon without having to interact with Gacha. Speaking of gacha, let's go over to the screen. So, first thing I notice is this whole area right here. That there is a booty. So, what do we want to do? We want to look at what her stuff does. So, we have Occult Emery Simmons. Let's see. So, Seeker of Mysteries. Increases max HP by 15%. At S level 5, that would be 30%. That's not bad for tank builds, and it's green, so it does synergize with most tank builds because they like to be blue and green. And it says increase damage dealt to all enemies by 15% when the character's HP is below 50%. Okay, it's kind of fighting itself. Okay, hear me out on this. So she gives you more max HP, but her damage increase only works when your character's HP is below half. So she's fighting with herself to proc her own passive. That's a little bit weird. I don't know how I feel about that. Especially since some tank builds like to use Regen from Ginryu. I think that's her name, the crappy rare waifu. Or they like to use Morisaki if you're, were able to whale last December. Because they give passive regen, but I believe their regen requires you to be above 50% health. At least I know Ginryu does. Maybe Morisaki's is a little different. But with that being said, you'd have to give up your passive regen in your tank build to get the damage boost. And running her in a DPS build, even then, she's still fighting with herself. Like, giving yourself more HP makes it harder for you to fall below half HP, is what I'm saying. So, it's up to you guys what you think. I don't really care for the passive that much. Her art is, like, really dope. I love it. And I like that her weapon is included in the art. She looks like a little scientist for, like, the Royal Order. It's great. She researches demons and demon accessories. Now we're going to look at her active. Let's see. 55-second cooldown, long as fuck. Passive. Normal attack shoots up to 3 fireballs, inflicting 30% damage every 4 seconds. Okay, well that's certainly better than some of the other passives we've been getting, how we have to wait like 20 seconds to get, like say, a Hellfire from Ingrid. So, the fact that this is every 4 seconds, and it's not even like up to chance, it's just every 4 seconds she does it, is not bad at all. It makes her like gives her like a little bit more damage on top of the Harrier that she normally throws off. And finally, we have her active. Strikes a lightning. Strikes a lightning. So she's not doing a lightning strike. She's striking a lightning. So I guess a lightning's going to appear there and Emily's going to like punch it. The way that's worded is really funny. Either way, it deals 310% damage. That would be 620 at Awakening 2. And damage to enemies within the area and makes them groggy. Damage dealt is increased by 20% for 10 seconds. That's not bad. It's a little steroid. Again though, a 10-second buff for on a it would what would be a 45-second cooldown because you'd have the buff for 10 seconds is still a bit long. I think the big thing with her Grimoire beat that I like would be the passive, because that's 60% at Awakening 2 when you have her at level 60. That's a nice, like, just residual consistent damage. Whereas the active, I guess it'll be nice for, like, bossing if you're gonna use this. Overall, like, I think it's an okay supporter. It's definitely not something like a Morisaki or something like a Rinko, where it's gonna make or break your Emily. I think there are better things for Emily out there, but this isn't bad. I just think she prefers invincibility supporters more so than anything. But yeah, Death's invincibility, because she's kind of our PvP waifu. Like, she's okay in PvE, but she really rocks the house in PvP. So giving her something like a Shisui or a Spica would be way better than something like this. But you know, to each their own. Like, I don't like it. Maybe someone else will. Like, I'd say, like, if I were just, like, you know, free balling it, I'd throw this in, like, maybe, like, lower middle tier. If we're, like, people even, like, consult the tier list or remember it. I'd put her, like, in the middle. Like, she's okay. I don't think she's good enough to be a limited supporter like this. And I say this all the time. Like, a lot of the limited supporters leave me like, what? Because the older ones were really good. The art is dope, though. Like, I wonder if Abduli drew this. Anyway, her art is really good. So now we're going to look at her weapon. I've gone on about the supporter long enough. We have the Hermetic Meningitis. Meningitis. There we go. That's what we're going to call it. The Hemorrhoid Meningitis gun. Okay, so passive. Homing bullet becomes a fireball and further enhances the supporter set effect. Okay, so does that mean it enhances this? A number would be nice. They just say... See, this is what I mean. Like, the wording in this game or the lack thereof. So it says further enhances the supporter set effect. What does that mean? What is that referring to? Is it referring to, like... let me go here. This screen? Like, is it enhancing this? I guess it would. That's a supporter set effect. Or is it, like, making its own set with the weapon? And, again, what does it do? That's a neat little effect, but I have no clue what it does, and it's annoying. Let me go in here, actually. Does Emily's new supporter have a set? Let's check it out. This is why we make these videos. We're researching AT, the lesser explained game. Let's find her here. Let's see. Because if there's a set effect for her, it would have to be hers, right? And we get to find out what it does if there is one. I don't see Emily here. I see old Emily. I see Kirara. Oof. Well. Well, there's Rinko. There's adult Yuki. She's got to be here somewhere. Emily? Again, I wish this screen had a means of just, like, searching or fast finding what you want. Having to scroll through and just look at the pictures is big oof. Yeah, I don't see Emily here, so I don't know what supporter set effect. I'm going to give this once over, then move on with the damn video. But if you're talking about a supporter set effect, I'd imagine she'd have her own, right? Otherwise, I don't know what she's really meant to be enhancing, and that kind of bugs me. Just give it a once over. Yeah. There's sushi. Well. Okay then. She definitely isn't here. Unless I glanced over her, in which case I'm sorry, and some avid watcher will say in the comments, you're an idiot, Mari. And I'm like, yeah, I am an idiot. So, moving on from that, I don't know what the supporter, or rather the weapon, is trying to do with that passive. It makes no sense to me. And the wording should be better, like some sort of percentage or some sort of idea of what it's actually doing. If it's just flat out doing something to your general supporter set effect, I don't think that's a bad thing, but I also don't know exactly what it's doing. It just says further enhances. So that would just require testing in a game that really doesn't give us background numbers. We just have to throw it on and see if we do more damage, or see what aspects of the supporter effect are being affected. So moving on from the passive of the weapon, we'll look at the active. I do like this active. It's sweet and simple. Creates an ice storm that deals 550% damage to all enemies within range and freezes them for 5 seconds. All that's going to matter here is the range. If the range is garbage, like Shiranui's Cocytus, where the AoE is literally like a small pyramid in front of her, it's going to suck. If it's a decently sized AoE, then yeah, having a means of freezing as Emily is great, because one of her issues is she gets dogpiled in PvE. Um, Again, I wouldn't suggest it for PvP because you'd be using her Viridian weapon or whatever PvP weapon you brought alongside an invincibility supporter and PvP stuffs. Whatever's good there. I don't really know anymore because I don't care about it, but the people who know, they know. So with that being said, as far as PvE, I like the weapon. I like the active at the very least. I wish the passive was better explained. This is probably going to turn into someone on my server actually sending in a ticket, like what does the first effect actually do? Because it is not very well explained at all. But that's Emily's stuff in a nutshell. If you want it, the first pool will cost you 250, and then from there it will be 500 gems flat because she is limited. She will be here until the end of September, and then she's going to go away forever or for a very long time. So if you do want her, grab her now, because I've not seen any limited supporter gear repeat on the global server. The only thing I've seen repeat are like the Asagi and Sakura skins. But as far as the actual supporters and weapons from the limited gachas, they have not repeated for us yet. But we'll see next month, because next month is Global's anniversary. I don't know if they're going to skip us and just do the Japanese anniversary because we are now merged, or if we're actually going to get an anniversary, but we will see. I'm crossing my fingers for one because my birthday is October 10th, so it would be nice to have, my birthday with AT, and yeah, we could grow up one more year together and touch each other. I love you, AT. Be my friend. Okay, so moving on. New weapons. I hate them. I think they're good in the aspect of, like, yeah, their effect is a neat effect. They all do the same damn thing. But this is what I don't like about them. The first thing is they are event weapons. So, I would never touch this gacha. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole unless you're, like, really, really hungry for a weapon for one of these characters and you want to get it past S level 1. Because I believe the event has a limit of 1. We'll check that later. So, that's the second thing I don't like. Past weapon events, like the snake weapons, have been, yeah, do the event, you can pick one of the weapons and get it to S level 5, or you could get, like, one of each weapon and get one of them a couple extra S levels, or you could just do whatever with them. You had the option to get 5 weapons. So however you divvied up the S levels was up to you. A lot of people did it to get gear for their main girl, like especially free-to-play players. This I don't like because it's not really a means of true gearing, because it's just going to be an S1 weapon if you don't interact with the gacha, which again I highly suggest you don't unless you're really, really thirsty for something. Because struggling to get this to S level 2 or 3 with the current gacha pool is terrible when you can just ignore the fact that these weapons are here and get a PvP weapon to S level 5 over time, and then maybe use this as an ultra rare sub if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of ultra rares. I could see these weapons filling the spot as a sub, or maybe if you're like a brand spanking new player and can get your hands on one, then yeah, it could fill your main slot as a substitute for something that you'll get later that could be better. So, let's go in here. We'll go to Kirara's because she's my friend. Oh, look at the little eyes of Rykros. They're cute. Okay, so the passive grants 1 stack whenever you use a skill. This will stack up to 100 times, and it lasts 30 seconds. Active, remove all stacks, perform a ranged attack of 220% plus 5% per stack. So, 2 things I don't like. 5 Taimanin particles is a lot. Second thing, granting 1 stack whenever you use a skill seems good on paper, and the stacking up to 100 times on a 30-second duration seems good on paper. But realistically, in Action Taimanin, if the enemies are lasting so long that you need to sit there stacking, then you don't have the DPS to be doing what you're doing. So it's kind of a real gimmicky, weird item. Like stacking to 100 is really like not realistic. Like I'm sure most people would probably stack it to like 10 at the most, and they should probably be able to kill most things. But if you're not able to, and you're literally like trying to get like 20, 30, 40 stacks, and just kind of holding this for the mission, the only thing I could see it being viable for is like maybe stat grinding for the entire run, getting to the boss, and then popping the active on the boss. But again, most people would just ultimate the boss, so I don't think this is worthwhile to use 5 Taimanin particles for to be your huge freaking burst damage when you could just throw your ultimate for 10 or 12 or how many the max cap of particles is. I don't remember. So, I don't really care for it. The stats seem okay. They favor attack, which raw damage is fine. Well, it seems to change. Asuka's favors crit. Does Obro's favor crit? Yes, it does. Let me look at just like a rebellious weapon. Like, how do they stack up? Something rebellious. These are all supporters. Oh, there we go. There's Cocytus. There, this is a rebellious weapon. Okay. 524, 639. Yeah, they're in the range. Like they're about as good as a rebellious weapon at base. So I imagine their stats would roll out nice if you do get it to like S3 and up. So the stats aren't the thing here. It's just the effect is a little bit like gimmicky or niche. I don't know where I'd place it, like where I'd find a use. PvP, you're not going to have a use for this because the AI is going to throw it whenever the fuck. And then PvE, again, for all the time you'd save up building up this burst damage, you could just throw an ult and do more damage. And have true iframes and that nice little pause that ultimates give you after you use them. So, I mean, not to, like, crap on anyone's parade, definitely at least get the weapon for your waifu from the event. Or if you're willing to grind, get all 3, because, like, it's rare that they give out weapons at all. And, like I said, ultra rare weapons are valuable, especially to free-to-play players who may not have. And, maybe you're interested in one of these 3 characters. So, definitely go for it. Like, as far as the gacha, I'd hold off. We all know Astaroth is coming just because her supporter has already happened. She's got to be coming. She's probably coming next month. So it'll be nice to have Astaroth around for my birthday, get some of that anime Jessica Rabbit, and hopefully she comes alongside the anniversary because it'll ease up on people like wanting to do stuff for her, like pull her weapons, or maybe pull whatever supporter pops up alongside of her. So for right now, I'd be saving gems towards that. That's what my advice is. Unless you want Emily, then go for it. Go get yourself some of that American booty. Now, Shop of Desires. We have the Emily stuff here. You can also use mileage if you're a crazy boy to get something from the Emily set, either the weapon or herself. And then you can use 100 desire to get one of the weapons. Obviously in the appropriate amount of gems or mileage, depending on what they ask for. Has anything been added to the pool? Let's see. What's happening here? Oh! Was Hayami always here? I don't know where she's here now. We have Valkyria Chronicles waifu. Yeah, and Sora's been added. Like I said, I don't do videos often, so this is like news to me. But yeah, we have Sora in the pool, and we do have Hayami in the pool. So if anyone was interested in getting them, they may now pop up in whatever pools you do. So that's cool. Now, moving on to... Oh, one more thing. Let's see. Costumes. The autumn skins that were Japan only are now here for a limited time. So, if you're interested in getting the Autumn Phantom, the Autumn Dragon, the Autumn Hunter are nerdy American girl in pumpkin colors, then yeah, go for it, definitely. Like, they are really nice skins. I love them all. Personally, though, like, I'm going to hold my gems because I'm a hoarder and I'm going to let these go by. The only one I would have really wanted to get are Renko's because it is very nice, but I've long since given up on Renko. I don't really use her that much. And Emily's because Emily, but we have to stop spending gems on Emily, guys. I don't really even play her, and Kirara's my main, so I'm going to focus her. But if you want an autumn skin, definitely grab it before they go away. Now, the last thing we're going to look at is this new event format. So the first thing I notice is this Mortal Kombat 11 BS currency system. I hate this. Just because of, like, this. I'm going to show you guys. So, in order to play the mission, you need to pretty much have, like, a certain supporter type set. So, for example, I run Christmas Kirara. She is red and green, as you can look here. So, with that being said, I would be able to enter this mission because I have one or more greens on, and I would be able to enter the suppress mission because I have one or more red supporters on. But I would not be able to enter the protect mission because I do not have any blues on this character. Which is fine, I'll probably just use Emily because my Emily does run blue. But it kind of bugs me only because this is kind of... I mean, it's not as bad as I'm going to make it sound, but this can, like, in a way isolate a very new player because some people, like I've seen who are new, like, may not have a blue, they may not have a green or a red to do this. And if they're very new, they may not have the green, red, or blue to even do, like, be on normal mode. So that I don't like, and I don't like that you're going to be pretty much farming from 3 pots to get what you want. But overall, like, it is what it is. They tried a new format. I just feel like making multiple currencies like this, one, they may end up flooding our inventory, so make sure you have inventory space. That goes out to all the longtime players who kind of let their inventory sit near full. Like, I'm guilty of that. Make sure you have the space to hold all this crap. And two, just have patience because there's no event store. Like, this is how we're doing the event now. Next, we're going to look at the exchange post. So, you see there's a shop for each type of supporter. So the green shop would be the assist. This is how you'll get Obro's weapon, which is weird because I think Obro's red, but whatever, sure, whatever. We'll go with that. You can buy gems, you could buy gold, some AP pots. The only thing I like about the exchange is it seems like you can basically get whatever with, like, a choice. Like, you don't have to, like, rely on RNG like the box events. So that's a nice change of pace. As long as you have the patience to farm the currencies, you'll be able to choose and pick what you want. So you could be like one of those people that goes for the weapon and then maybe like the gems and maybe the AP pot and the material kit, and then you don't do the rest. It does look like we can convert here, but the price of converting seems like way worse than just farming. But yeah, you can convert, like, I guess like 30 greens and whatever this little demonite currency is into a blue, 10 blues. So you do kind of get like a runoff where you get less than what you put in, but at least the exchange is there for people who have less supporters. I guess that's a way to, like, bypass the fact that you may not have a blue or green if you're very new, or a red. And it's the same thing down the board. We have the protect shop, which would give you the Asuka weapon, which again, isn't Asuka red? Either way, protect gems get you her weapon. And I think it's pretty much a mirror of the Obro shop, or the assist shop rather, except that you get a BP pot instead of an AP pot. Yeah, they pretty much mirror each other outside of that. And the exchanges are obviously changed accordingly. And last, we look at the suppress shop. You'll get the Evil Gazer, which, again, I know Kirara's blue, but for some reason you're using red for her. Here you get accelerators instead of a BP or AP potion, and then outside of that, the only difference are the exchanges, and they're mirrors of each other. So we have, let's see, 15, 30, 45 gems up for grabs from these 3 shops. 3 ultra rare weapons, which you can use to either, gear or add to your collections, throw them in the whatchamacallit, your armory for more damage. That could help you out if you need it. Or you could break them for enchanting and try to spoil your waifus further. The last thing I'll look at is the other shop, which just uses all 3 currencies. There is an exchange here as well. To exchange for the demonites, though, not for the colors. And you can get tablets for PvP. That's really cool for people interested in that. You can basically, like, farm up a stock of tablets with this event. So I know PvP whales will like that. Crester here, which is nice if you're interested in PvP. And then we have material kit. Ooh, it's the ultra rare one. That's not bad at all. Okay. You can get 5 gacha coins, which is good. Three rare tickets, which is and then a UR ticket, which is great. Obviously, like, I'd go for the UR ticket and the gacha coins above all else, and then maybe the material kit top. And then from there, probably the rare tickets. Like, I definitely am not going to do everything from this event. Me personally, I'm going to cherry pick what I want and move on. The only question I have, because of this format, I wonder if there will be a bonus stage at the end, since these are just like, they're three separate stages with just their difficulties up, like easy, normal, and hard. I also wonder if moving to normal makes it so you have to use like 2 greens, and then hard would take 3 greens. Like, and then, the same respectively for each one. But that'll all come with time. Like, it's a new event format. I don't like it, like, on paper, looking at it, just because, like I said, I hate, like, currencies like this. It's basically just adding artificial playtime where we have to play the hell out of the game. And I don't see these event stories dropping any gems, which is unfortunate because it's going to affect our monthly gem income. It would have been nice if each of these gave gems for doing the little objectives like every other event, instead of having a requirement and no gems. The last thing I want to look at before I let you guys go is this. So it says acquire a weapon from the exchange facility to unlock a scenario. So I guess we get a cutscene when we get one of the weapons from the exchange post. Some people were asking about that in my server. Well, here's your answer. Yeah, so I guess if I were to buy this Vicious Slasher, if I had started the event, then this little cutscene would unlock. But as far as like the event story, who knows what cutscenes are going to be available, if any. It seems it's a unique event. We'll just have to see how it goes. And this will be going on until the end of the month. So, yeah, all I gotta say is enjoy farming. There may not be many videos because I pretty much talked about the whole update. And as you guys know, it's been like one update and then like 3 weeks of emptiness. Besides like little bitty things. There's no like campaigns running. There's no golden pass added. So I'm at a loss for words here, really. That's it. Oh, for anyone wondering, let's look at this. This is what a plus 15 weapon looks like. Just for anyone wondering what the stats may look like if a weapon's completed. So we have like 6,814 by 6,034 because Kirara's Rebellious does focus attack over crit. I just thought I'd share that with you guys, so you can get an idea of what like the very tippy top of the gear would look like. It is really a huge amount of attack power. We'll just look at a random other S5 item. Yeah, like you see, this is way lower in terms of like attack. What else is S5? This is S5. Yeah, so they're like hanging around 3,400, 4,000. Renko's is in the same range, 3,500 by 4,000. Where's Asagi's at? I believe hers is done. Well, Sakura's is done too. Yeah, hers has way more crit. Hers has more stats than everyone else's, actually. Sakura cheats. And then we'll look at Yami. Yeah, 3,500 by 43. So yeah, that's a pretty huge jump. So, do I think enchanting is worth it? Of course, I'm always going to say no. It's insanely costly. But in case you were wondering what the stats at the end of the rainbow look like, this is, though, the singular weapon at plus 15. And it does nothing to your passive and your active. It just literally makes the weapon have more stats and makes it a beat stick. And with that, that will be the video. Thank you for watching if you sat through the whole thing. Sorry it was a long one, but I wanted to cover the event and give my opinions. And yeah, I hope you guys have fun with the event. I really hope it's not sucking. Like I said, I'm very busy. Between my new work schedule and other things, like, it's hard for me to even get in and play. Like, I'm not going to have my time to even like get my feet wet in the event today. Like, I'm going to just do a couple maps and turn the game off after this, because it's already almost time for me to go to bed for work tomorrow. But yeah, I'd love to hear what people think in the comments. I'm sure people will say their opinions in the server. Some already have said they didn't like the event, so we'll see. We'll see what you all think. Either way, enjoy, have fun playing Action Taimanin, and I'll catch you guys when I catch you. You take care, my beautiful lovelies. Bye-bye.